Hey guys, Adam aka CSRadical here, and thank you for checking out this episode of the VCR Podcast. For more content, you can visit our Instagram at vcr.podcast. If you are looking for a video version of this podcast, you can visit my YouTube channel at CSRadical. And if you are coming from the YouTube channel looking for an audio version of the podcast, you can check us out at anchor.fm/VCR Podcast for all available platforms. Thanks for checking us out, guys, and let's get on with the show.
You have entered the realm of the VCR Podcast with your host, Vish,
They're just bastardizing our childhood and the classics.
Chris,
Nintendogs drove me. It's what makes me want to hurt people.
Radical.
People in general still bitch about everything. It still doesn't change.
Let the podcast begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the VCR Podcast, the only podcast that predates itself from the moment the title is spoken. Adam, aka CSRadical here. We are at officially number 10 of episodes here. I'm amazed we even made it to 2, let alone 10. So we got Vish and Chris here, and I believe we have a certain president in the office, although he seems like he's in a rush. I don't know what's going on here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to you live from Washington, D.C. I just wanted to say tonight is going to be a totally phenomenal show. Unfortunately, I have to be in Washington to fight negative Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. Instead, in my place, there is another phenomenal person who is going to step in. I've only met him a few times, I swear. And we did not plan this. We did not conspire or collude for him to be on the show tonight. It just so happened his schedule opened up and he came in all the way from Moscow. However, I need to go back. I need to go back to Washington, D.C. God bless America. Bye-bye.
Everyone, I would like to introduce our comrade.
No, not comrade.
He is our comrade.
Hello, comrades. Comrade Radical. How do you do?
I feel cold.
Not nearly as cold as when you die.
Oh, this show just got dark.
I love it.
Very dark.
Comrade Vishal, how do you do?
Da.
That's about all he knows,
that is
probably.
yes.
Yeah.
How do you do? You say yes.
Da.
No. I ask you a question. How do you do? Good? Bad?
I do niet.
You do nothing. What is
I
he
do
saying?
good, sir.
Is he the developmentally delayed one?
I can
I do-
assure
He is
you,
He
I
is
am
a
not.
lot of things.
He's-
I
haven't
can-
opened the envelope with those test results yet.
oh dear.
I can
all I
assure
know is
you.
thankfully none of us are the father. Moriarty went through with that, so we're
Yeah.
good.
I can
This
assure
one-
you, I am not the delayed one.
Well, hello, Chris. How do you do?
Dubsha? Dobra? I'm probably doing the
It
wrong.
is nice
This is
to
failing
be
miserably already.
here. Ladies and gentlemen,
Here
it
we
is-
were trying to think we were going to have a bit here, and it's just been like, nope.
Man, we're all trying to practice our Russian, and so far
You
we're
guys
wrong.
are all trying to practice your Russian. I'm sitting here being like, I'm going to try to be the one normal person here.
and you are not succeeding.
Oh,
Well, I am a Canadian trash weeb, so I know that I'm the most abnormal person.
At least
you're
you
just a
know
teenage dirtbag,
Who
baby.
you are?
I am 31, sir. You reverse that, you might have a shot at it. But
All right,
no.
fine. You're a
I know what I said.
31-year-old dirtbag.
Teenage
Okay, I'll take
Dirtbag
it.
was a terrible movie and a theme song from a movie long ago with Jason Biggs. Very bad.
It wasn't that terrible of
It
a...
was stupid.
Is
We did not even
You
show it
look
in
back at a
Russia.
Is
lot of
it-
those movies, they're pretty bad.
Is it
I love those
because
movies.
it did not include the KGB?
You know what? The Soviet cartoon Shoe and Shoelace, very good. The movie Teenage Dirtbag, not so good.
Shoe and shoelace?
One is nothing without the other.
So I feel like we have to risk asking the question, what is your favorite movie?
Shield and Sword. It is a KGB movie. It is a very good movie.
What
Dr.
about...
Zhivago, also a very good movie. Russian
What
movie.
about The Hunt for Red October?
That's a stupid movie. Sean Connery, Scottish accent, playing a Russian captain of submarine. Very bad.
I will admit, he did not even have a small Russian accent
No,
in that entire
not at
movie.
all. It was very
Yeah.
insulting to Muscovites.
Apparently Sean Connery just is Russian now.
I thought he was James Bond stealing the submarine and bringing
That
it back
basically-
the first time I ever saw that. So I was like,
actually,
James Bond got old,
I always say that
still working.
I
though.
always say that Jack Ryan is the American James Bond.
Yeah.
So this is actually a movie where Jack Ryan works with James Bond.
Who's undercover as a Russian
Yes.
and doing a
Of
terrible
course,
job of it.
they do a movie where James Bond, the British, what does it say, the secret agent, is a Russian, and you blame Russia again. See, Western people, you need to get your head checked.
Duh.
Yeah.
Blame Russia.
No, it's Canada with the beady little eyes.
Even Trey Parker and Matt Stone blame Russia. Just America and Britain.
Well, they blame Canada.
They blame
Yeah.
Everybody
Canada,
blames
but
Canada.
not
Everybody
Russia.
blames
Not
Canada.
Russia. The only ones. Only ones.
So, who is your favorite player in the NHL?
I like Alexander Ovechkin, what's his name? Vasilevsky, great goalie, and Pavel Datsuk.
I love Ovi. He represents what I wish I could be.
Rich?
A drunk on skates.
He is a very, very talented man.
Oh, he
Very
is.
good.
Well-
He absolutely is.
Stanley Cup champion.
Yep.
Finally.
And he
Yeah,
also
now
celebrated
nobody
the
can
way I
throw that
want to
monkey on
celebrate.
his back
Yeah,
anymore.
that is true.
At
And
this
he's
point, he
not
hasn't.
a wimp like your, what's his name?
Sidney Crosby,
No,
as you call him.
Cindy Crosby. He cries
Cindy?
all the time. He doesn't. He's a wimp. Wimp. What's that, what you say? Wimp? Not even Don Cherry like him. Don Cherry, Alexander Ovechkin. He is worst enemy to this Don Cherry. A Russian who skates, hits, fights, and scores.
Yeah, imagine if there ever is like the classic like Swedish or like French Canadian guy who is literally like the new Eric Lindros and just like
Peter
you watch his
Forsberg.
like head just explode.
Peter Forsberg, very good Swedish player.
But-
very good.
Did Forsberg ever fight though?
No, he knew what he was good at and just
But-
used
No,
it.
but
Let's,
he was
uh,
very, very rough, very aggressive.
But let's just actually talk about one thing related to hockey. I said beginning of the season, if the Leafs lose 5 games in a row, Babcock is gone. Took 6. And honestly,
Oh man.
this is the problem that I was noticing. That, like, we won't go too deep into this because it's really off topic on our usual stuff. But this is what I think they're modeling the Raptors model, because with the Raptors, Dwayne Casey, as good of a coach as he was, never made adjustments, never made changes to the lineup. Was always sticking with his guys, always sticking with, like, just was not willing to make adjustments, where Nick Nurse was willing to make adjustments. And also Nick Nurse just seems like he was a lot more of a player's coach than Casey was. And I feel that Keefe seems like he's more of a new age coach, and he'll be able to relate to the players and
Well,
be
they at
more
least
of a
want to
player.
play for him. And I mean, without like getting too in depth, because I mean, I don't think anybody really wants to hear about local sports unless they were, specifically watching a show for that. Just to imply it as one simple thing. I mean, to be completely honest, when it comes to anything in sports, it's very easy to lose the room. And when you are players that have dealt with the same crap for so many years, in the case of Babcock, I believe it would have been 4 was this 4th season.
Yeah, I think it
You
was
can only
4.
take the message so many times. Even if it's a good coach, like at some point, that message can only go so far before people are like, okay, I've heard this before.
Well, that's why I'm with Joel Quenneville, and this is a
Well,
guy.
Quenneville's one of the best coaches there is, and it's still
Yeah.
like just at some point you just. And I don't even know if he lost the room in Chicago so much as just Chicago was on a decline, and they were just like, well, we can't just keep paying you when the team is not doing
You
very
know
well.
this Mike Babcock, you say his name? I talked to Pavel Datsuk when he come to Moscow, and he tell me, Mike Babcock is this what Canadian American winner, and he
Yeah, what
He,
kind of
probably, he
bad?
probably got
Sorry,
most
what
of
kind
the
of bad?
story secondhand from Mike Commodore, from what I hear.
well he win in Detroit with the Red
Oh
Wings.
yeah,
He
that's a
did
good
it
play
very
for
good
Babcock.
in Anaheim. He did it very good with the AHL for the
And also Team
Cincinnati.
Canada.
So I don't know.
Well, yeah, but it's pretty easy to
Maybe-
coach an all-star team.
Maybe perhaps.
you'd be
I don't
surprised
know,
with that many
the
Eagles on one
problem
team.
Seems
Ah,
to maybe
national
be
pride, man.
Kyle Domas. Maybe it's Kyle Domas, the general manager. Maybe he's the problem. He put the team together. They can't get past the Boston team. Maybe it's the Kyle Domas, the general manager. Maybe he do not know how to put a team together. Because Mike Babcock can win. Kyle Domas, I don't know.
I mean, it's to just close it off because I don't want to go
Yeah.
talking about
Let's
Leafs hockey
move
for,
on.
This will
like,
be a
20
bar
minutes.
talk.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
bar
need
talk.
to talk
I mean,
about
long story
anymore.
short, I mean, it's nice that at least us as sports fans, like any of us who are interested, Chris obviously not so much, but I mean,
Chris don't give a shit.
Mostly, I have no idea what you guys
He
are talking
don't
about.
so
care.
I mean, generally speaking, like
The Leafs fired their coach.
it's-
No, I know that.
it's-
I know the basics that the coach was fired.
it's just
and
at
that they've
least
been
nice
losing a lot.
That after watching the last game that they played against Arizona, that at least I smiled watching a game, which is something I haven't done for a while.
For a Leafs game.
So speaking of disappointments, the Google Stadia.
Okay, so one thing I want to know is, so it's a streaming service where you have to buy each game.
Yes.
What's the price range for
That
the
is
game?
correct.
Full price.
Full price.
You pay full price.
You're fucking kidding.
No.
Like you would pay on the
$9.99
PlayStation Store. Or,
for the service, and then
Okay.
if you want to buy a game, you're paying
You
$69.99.
do not pay for
Okay,
the
this
console.
reminds me of one time I went to a convention, and all it was vendors and celebrity guests. So basically, you bought a ticket to go somewhere to spend more money.
Yep.
This is basically what that fucking is. It's
Yep.
like you're buying a
Yeah.
service to
Well,
spend more money.
Like I said to you before the show, it's like imagine having Netflix, Amazon Prime, Crave TV, whatever other streaming service, even Disney Plus. Like hell, Disney Plus, great example. Imagine if you're paying the monthly fee for Disney Plus, and you have to pay $25 just to watch Mandalorian and stream it.
yeah.
You don't
Every
get to
movie
keep a
still the
downloaded copy of it.
$24.99. Yeah.
You just buy the rights to stream.
But you
Yeah,
do not
the
buy the
series.
console.
No, there's no.
There is no console, and that's what they're pushing. They're
saying
pushing there's no console.
but you pay for game.
So it's that you don't have to own a console. You just install the app or whatever it's going to be. I think it actually plays through YouTube, if I'm not mistaken.
So you do.
But
How much do the PlayStation 2, 3, 4? How much that cost you?
well,
so-
there's
so
a service.
the way that it is with the
hundreds of
Stadia,
dollars.
like if it's $9.99 a month plus paying for any game, I mean, if you're only getting Stadia just to play like 2 games, then it might be worth it for you.
yeah.
But if you're going to keep this for years and years and years, it's going to add up like a son of a bitch, especially
Well,
when you know that there
with
might not be
the-
discounts on games.
Yeah.
With the original subscription, are there games included with
No.
it? Why don't they just...
So, well, there is one game. I think you get Destiny 2.
Well, yeah,
for
but it's already
free.
free to play.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, you
Is
get
it?
an expansion
Like
for free
Destiny
or
2
something?
is
Yeah.
now become free to play. There you pay
So-
if you want like the further expansions. and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think
Like,
you get
so
the
you-
further
Destiny
expansion
2
for
free to play is, if I remember correctly, is just the default game.
Yeah, yeah.
So you basically bought it for no reason.
No, I did. I bought it when it was 2 years old, and it was still
yeah.
worth
They
it.
only
Oh, okay.
recently became
But they
free
just
to play.
recently turned it over because obviously the player base is getting lower, and they needed
Yeah,
some
and
way
there's so
of
many
recouping
new expansions. Yeah, they do
something
that with
back.
a lot of games.
So are you all very mad because you do not have the box that you turn on?
No, the
No?
box honestly could have nothing to do. If PlayStation literally came out and said, "Here's this little USB stick, plug it into your TV and go," I don't care.
Yeah,
It's the idea that if I'm getting, say, PlayStation Now, which is their streaming service, you pay whatever the monthly fee is, that's it.
And
get
you have
all
access
games.
to the
all
entire
games on the
library.
service, you can stream. No extra cost. So, in the case of Stadia, back with the price comparison, if you get a Stadia and you want to play 5 games, you're paying $9.99 a month, and you're going to pay full price, so you're looking at, what, $350 for 5 games. For that time, you can get the Black Friday PS4 that's on sale for $250, get a couple of games with it, and start getting that subscription,
That's
and you
really
already
fucking
win.
Good deal.
You already win because the PlayStation Now service gives you a crap ton of games. Same goes for Xbox Game Pass. Same
Yes.
deal. You can get a good Xbox console for probably $200-$250.
Yep.
Probably comes with something, and then you get the Game Pass.
Absolutely.
So the idea with Stadia is, quite frankly, if you want my general opinion on it, it was Google trying to do what Apple does, which is use their brand to get people interested.
yeah.
Well, that's like if they did it, like they made like $20 a month, and you got access
And
to
that
the
was
entire
it.
library.
You could probably pull it
You probably
off.
pull it off, but if you have
Yeah.
to like that's like paying to spend more money. It's like it doesn't make any sense. Like
You're paying to pay to play.
But why
just-
why are you so mad? Why not let what you Western people call free market decide?
They did.
yeah.
So
They
is
did.
Stadia
It
go?
also doesn't work.
Did the Stadia go?
Well, not yet.
No,
but
it only
if they,
released,
if
like,
they, if
4
they don't
days
fix their shit quick,
So-
Google's
Yeah,
gonna drop
it's
that
gonna-
sucker fast.
If it no go, then you don't have to worry about, and
well,
we'll move on.
the reason that it's
Good point.
frustrating is, one, it was meant to be this new revolution which has been done before on live. Tried that and failed.
You want to talk about a revolution? You talk to the Bolshevik. They did it.
Yeah, the second I said revolution, I'm like, shit. I just
certain
put
keywords
myself
that
right
you're
in there.
using here.
You said it.
It was
Trigger
supposed
word.
to be this,
That's what you people
massive
say?
new
Yeah,
tech.
like a trigger of a gun.
It was gonna be this big thing that everybody was gonna start talking about. It was gonna be the future, and I still think that there is a future for streaming. But the problem is when you come up with a price model like that and the service doesn't even work properly. Like apparently, the 4K streaming just doesn't work very well at all. Like at best, if you're 4K streaming, which by the way, you need minimum 30 Mbps just to make it serviceable.
Well, the thing is that's just for the game itself. Like if you have to, like for example, no house now has only one device connected to the internet, so that 30 M is like that's going to be required just for the thing itself.
And like even just to play a 720p streaming game, it's 10. So that's even still asking a lot on your service because the internet can just drop in spouts like it's any point. But even if you have like say you're running 100, no problem. Even with the 4K option, it's still not streaming at 60 frames like it's supposed to. It still pretty much seems to cap itself from what most people are saying at like 30, 35.
Yeah.
And it just isn't.
So
it isn't getting up to 60.
So the
one
like
thing
it's
they try
already
to tell
dying
you,
before it's even born.
I mean, the thing is, like, am I saying it's dying? No, but what came is it came out of the womb and is immediately already in intensive care.
Yeah. I actually have here a list which
That is very
would take
sad.
a while
like
to go
child.
over. It's a list of all the things that would be available on day one that they came out on an Ask Me
Like, a
Anything
lot of people
on
are
Reddit.
saying that the Stadia right now is almost like it's a beta test and they released it.
They
So it
released
sounds
it.
like they kept this. They should have put this in the oven a little bit longer.
Yeah, like this list here is all the stuff that is no longer releasing at launch. And some of it is like key. First of all, the controller that came with it, because it's a controller, but the controller would connect to your phone, your TV, Chromecast,
Which is
your
pretty
computer.
cool.
Yeah, except the controller doesn't connect to anything except the Chromecast right now.
Yeah.
So people paid
That,
$150 to get
Yeah, if
the
you're paying full
Founders
price to get it
Edition.
right away because of that feature, they lied to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty shitty. I thought they would have announced, be like, it currently works on Chromecast.
No,
like,
they
if
straight up
announced-
said at launch it was going to come out on all these things.
Yeah. So now the controller
So
only
it's false
connects to
advertising
one.
immediately.
Yep. They said it was going to be, I don't remember what the original thing was, gigs per hour of gameplay. If you try and play at 4K, which most TVs are, it's 20 gigs an hour of data.
What?
Yeah.
So if you try and play on your phone and accidentally leave it as 4K, like I get 8 gigs a month. I play for like 15 minutes and
You've capped.
I'm capped. I'm screwed. So that wouldn't work. Things like achievements, family sharing, crowd play, a buddy pass. So everybody who paid the $150 to get it for day one got a buddy pass for 3 months. Their friend would get it, and they're like, "Sorry, the buddy pass isn't ready."
Okay.
Which is funny because all it should be is a code that says, "Hey, here, get in."
This sounds like the American movie failure to launch.
Yes.
It is very bad.
Yes.
So
Russia does not have failure
Wait,
to launch. We
if it
get
was the
to
opposite of
space
that, is that
first.
Matthew McConaughey being like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no"?
Do you just have?
You
a
are not
show or
wrong.
movie in
You are
Russia
not
called
wrong.
Just launch. And
We
it was
call
good?
it just launch, and it works every time. And you know why? Because we do not fail to launch.
So next is going to be the Google Soyuz.
Google, they made a very big
So-
mistake.
And to make it even worse for Google, because the press has already been terrible, 3 other companies have announced they're going to do their own version.
If
Yeah.
Google came to Russia,
Amazon's done it, Valve has done it, and I believe Apple's planned on doing something.
So Apple already has Apple Arcade, but it's $5 or $10 a month. I think it's $5.
but do you have to pay for each fucking game?
No, you just
But isn't
get
it like
gets you-
mobile games though only?
Yeah, you get access
So I mean,
to.
I think Apple was thinking about trying to do.
Oh, I
So
don't know.
I gotta say one thing. As much as I
you never say just one thing, but go ahead.
well played.
Man, Putin hasn't been here
Holy
that long.
crap.
and he's already
Putin is like truth over
I
here.
don't. I am not
studied the
scared.
bingo card before he came.
I
Listen,
did.
I
I did my
gotta.
homework.
I didn't think I would ever say this. I miss Trump.
I know you do, but right now you have me.
Fuck.
That sounds like what the last thing you hear before you're get prison shanked.
Yeah. Yeah.
KGB and GRU do their homework. I read the report.
You mean Gru from Despicable Me?
No, FSB. FSB was.
No, but he said
success-
GRU.
Yeah, no, that's military intelligence.
It's not the guy from Despicable Me.
No, you do not know what you're
Are you
talking
sure?
about.
You might want to finish what you were saying before
Yeah,
you dig
why
yourself a
don't-
further hole.
why
there,
don't
man.
you finish?
You might get a Spetsnaz shoulder shoot.
Why dig?
I'm just gonna
Why
end up-
dig the grave 3 feet? Finish. Go 6.
So with the with as much as I think Apple has just gone to shit ever since Steve Jobs died, they would never do a launch like this. They will actually put the quality
Yeah, their
in
launches
their
are pretty
stuff.
good.
Like there's issues with devices.
No, they would just come up with a device that was missing features that it should have had.
Exactly. Like don't get me wrong. Like
It would have been a perfectly usable device. It would just be missing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
If
they're definitely like always
Google-
one step behind
if
everybody
Google-
else.
See,
Want
Apple's
to come
device
to
would be what
Russia.
Google Stadia is, except
Boom.
Apple wouldn't have told you about the things that weren't ready.
Yeah, that's true.
That
Well,
is
it's
very
like-
true. That is very
well, it's
true.
like as I said,
cannot argue
the
with
iPhone
that.
11 is now revealed with groundbreaking features available in 2013.
Yeah.
That's
Well, the
very
thing
good
too is,
for,
like-
for Apple.
Google is in a lot of trouble too. Like everything in general is not going very well. They just paid a $170 million fine to the FTC for YouTube
With
because
Google,
of child
that's
laws.
with
So what's
Oh.
going to happen with YouTube soon is you're going to lose 80 to 90% of all ad revenue that's targeted if it has kids content in it. And it's such a broad brush for what kids content is that like even if you just play Minecraft on your channel, you're probably losing.
You
all
know
your
what
ad
it is?
revenue.
That's actually going to be really bad because there's a shit ton of video game and Marvel
Well, this is the
content
thing
out
too,
there.
right? It's such a gray line that you know that if lawmakers have their way, pretty much anything is going to be put under that section where you don't make any money. So all that's going to be left is NBC, all the
Yeah.
fucking talk shows that get uploaded. It's going to literally be television making all the money.
Those could actually.
Which I'm not shocked if that happens because we felt that was going to happen for a while now.
This could actually fuck up sports shows as well.
No, it won't. Unless
What would you consider a
It'll fuck
sports
up
show
YouTube.
like something?
No,
for
but
kids,
what
though?
I mean is like sports shows have at least some aspect of things being worked in their favor because there are companies that are behind that stuff. You can get away like NBC and ABC and all these companies can do what they want there because they can get away with that shit because they have the clout in the industry. If you are Square Enix, Nintendo, you don't have that clout because we still get video games as an industry looked at as this backwater kids thing. So they aren't taking it seriously. Lawmakers will be like, oh, NBC, CNN, oh, that's fine. You know, that's clearly not kids content. They'll look at Sony and be like, oh, you make video games. That's that kid shit. So YouTube's going to be interesting in the next little while.
Yeah.
But
Well, I don't know, cause like if you still have like the big streamers can still get some revenue with
it still won't matter if you're losing 80 to 90%.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it doesn't matter how
Yeah.
much money you're making. Like like if any of us doesn't matter how much money you're making. Like if you're making $1 million a year and your salary gets cut by 80%, okay, so you're making $200,000 now instead. Sure, that's a lot of money, but if you're like in most of these big names, they don't. It's not just them. It's teams of people. They got
Yeah,
people who edit
teams
their
of
stuff.
people.
They got people
Yep.
who do
They're
all their
flying
thumbnails.
places. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of expenses now. If you
PR
want to be
staff.
like a pure like YouTube
I
content
do not
creator.
have this problem in Russia.
Yeah,
you
I can't
have
imagine
this
why.
problem. You have it.
What is YouTube called in Russia? Just Tube or-
YouTube.
Calm YouTube.
I do not know.
My tube.
Call YouTube. That this
My
this
tube,
is
that's-
not.
yeah, that's probably it.
This is not. It's called
Soviet-
Rustube.
There's one channel and it's just Putin.
It's-
YouTube.
Putube.
We have
Oh god, that sounds like a
Russia
disgusting
Today.
porn site.
our
Oh, I
thing.
think I've been there.
Russia Today. It's a great news site. If Google come to Russia, I guarantee good press. But no, they stay in America. Bad press.
Well, if they work with you, yeah.
Well, are you
What-
are
what
you
we have-
friends with Edward Snowden?
No, we are not friends. It was
Snowden has nothing to do with that. Like
Yes.
he's just there because it's asylum.
he showed up, and there were issues. I did not invite him, but we make do with the best we can. I do not know what you bring him up for. That is not respectful to guest.
It's
They're friends.
It's frustrating though because here's something where, you know, people were thinking, okay, well, this is our first step, and it would be like if you tried to do a first step for Man on the Moon and you faceplanted.
Yeah.
That wouldn't look good on camera. Although
Yeah.
apparently it wasn't real in the first place, so I guess it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
Here's the thing: the initial moon landing, there is legitimate evidence that wasn't real.
Yeah, but there's legitimate evidence for everything.
You
if you hear it
believe
enough
in
times,
this
people believe it.
conspiracy. Where is your evidence?
Is there even really a moon?
Do you have evidence of
Chris,
conspiracy?
please just don't. Just
This,
that
do
part,
you
just don't.
do you
Does it make
believe
sense? If the Earth's flat,
Yes,
I
how
was
come
gonna
the
say-
moon disappears?
is the
This
Earth
whole
flat?
segment is starting to fall a little bit flat.
Good God.
But I mean, like, it's an issue too because Google should have already been seeing what Microsoft and Sony have been doing to be like, oh, so there's something to start on.
Yeah.
Hell, even with Valve going to be doing it, like Steam doing a streaming service, I'm surprised it hasn't even happened yet. That's
I could
genuinely
see-
surprising.
I could see Steam offering like, hey, if you want this, it's $5 or $10 a month, and now all of your games you already own,
That
you
would
can
be
play
totally
on your
fair.
phone on the go or whatever. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to leave your
And
computer
actually,
on
they
stream
do that
it.
with Apple because
We
a
do
lot of
not
games
offer this in the Russian bathhouse. We don't. The Steam you get from Russian bathhouse. We don't. I do not. We do not have this.
You turn the valve.
What? This makes no sense.
So
I'm sorry.
I'm too terrified to ask anything about a Russian.
I think I
Yeah.
just realized another thing about Putin. You know, have you ever seen Putin's penis? It's micro and it's soft.
Oh.
I do not understand why that is a joke about me. That was
Saying
not
you have a
a-
tiny limp dick, Putin.
But Microsoft, I'm going to tell a joke. It's going to be very good joke.
Let's hear
I
it.
take Radical to very nice restaurant where they bring steak. You eat steak in my joke. The waiter say, President Putin, how would you like your steak? I say, I want it rare. He say, okay. And what about the vegetable? And I say, he will have steak too.
Yeah.
I make you vegetable.
I hit the second I heard vegetable. I'm like, I know exactly where this is going.
You are like limp vegetable on the side.
Oh.
So he's a steamed Brussels sprout. No,
No,
bok choy.
That
more-
is insulting that you would call me a Brussels sprout. That's like the worst thing.
I make a good joke, light-hearted joke. He make a very mean joke. He call you Brussels sprout. Ukrainian woman.
I also
put you
called
in
him
stew.
a bok choy. That's
It's not bad. Bok choi's
Yeah,
pretty good.
bok choy is actually pretty good.
well, it's, on its own, is it though?
Your jokes
choy
are
needs
very,
to-
very
I don't know, it's on- I don't know.
not on mark. Is that what you said? Not on
Yes,
mark.
not
Yeah.
on mark.
Off
it
mark.
was
Off mark.
not on mark.
Not on mark. It go off to the side. Off mark.
I
Like
forgot
this
where-
whole podcast.
I forgot where we were. I know Stadia was a part of it.
We
Yeah,
were talking
but-
about Google Stadia.
See, the thing is,
bad
when I-
press in
But
America
you know what
media.
I don't think will end up
Steam.
on Google Stadia? The Resident Evil 3 remake.
No. Resident
I was
Evil.
going to say,
I
do
don't know.
we want to close thoughts on Stadia first before we move on?
Let's
Yeah.
finish Stadia. Because Stadia
Oh,
is...
so Google finished Stadia.
Yeah.
No, we will finish Stadia because Stadia is finished.
I mean, realistically
He
speaking,
has a point.
it wasn't a bad idea.
No,
In
yeah.
practice, it wasn't a bad idea. The problem is the second it was announced, I knew it was going to fail. For two reasons. One, the company, because Google at this current juncture to me is not trustworthy enough and also has no experience doing this.
Yeah.
And two, immediately once the price model came out, it was doomed to fail.
The price model.
Yeah.
What
price
did
model
your
too, actually.
Canadian hero say when Gretzky? You missed 100% of the shots you do not take.
Well,
they took a
this is-
shot.
they took a shot. They
missed.
still missed pretty good.
They missed. But Microsoft, they did Xbox many years ago. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. Maybe
It's true.
next time,
Xbox has
maybe
been
next
hit and
time
miss.
Google, maybe next time they hit. But you must learn.
True.
Well, in the words of Trump, Google, you didn't make video games great again.
No, Google did not.
Oh,
I see that there's some. Oh, go ahead.
I
You go.
the other day that to go off topic a little bit.
Shocking.
Bingo.
Oh,
card.
I was going to finish off Stadia.
I do not believe he's
Doug
going
Ford.
off topic.
Doug Ford said that he had a phenomenal meeting with Justin Trudeau.
Oh, nice.
Oh, jeez.
I like Justin
Politics.
Trudeau.
I'm holding politics
No,
right now.
no. I
And
like
I wash my hands.
I
of it.
like this Canadian Prime Minister. He let me do whatever I want.
Yeah, true.
So finishing off Stadia.
So
It's a dumpster fire.
I think that it did have its benefits. Like, to be able to play wherever you are, cool. There's no download, so when you actually just buy the game and you press play, it just loads the game because it's running off some computers that are always running somewhere else. And if you're somebody who doesn't have 4K capability and you have crazy unlimited internet at home, you put in, Chromecast into your TV. And in theory, if it worked as it's supposed to, you'd
would
have
be great.
4K gaming. And if you don't, like, instead of buying a computer that's, $1,500, or the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, I'm not sure if they do full 4K.
They do, but I think when it comes to 60 frames, it's a matter of, like, you either go 4K in the graphic fidelity, or you can go 60 frames, and I think it's...
Probably 1080p or something.
No, it's still... I guess it's still 4K, but there's more of an emphasis on making sure the speed's up rather than focusing on the fidelity.
Because I know that the way that Google Stadia was supposed to go, it was no matter where you are, whatever device, you will get 60 frames, super 4K, because they have all these supercomputers running the game. You don't need the hardware. It'll just stream to you. And I mean, in a sense, that could have been great.
And it might be great 20 years down the road
And it
when
might be, yeah.
we have the tech a little bit more hammered out. Internet providers actually aren't jipping the shit out of you on speed.
Yeah.
What? That happens?
Yeah.
No,
Real
no,
bad.
never. Especially in the States where there's actually like literal areas where only one service provider is available.
That's literally this area
Can
too.
you imagine though, like here, sitting down and being like, oh, you can only get Rogers here, or you can only get Bell here.
Dude,
Whereas,
that's actually common.
no, but generally speaking, like most people at least will have like the options of one or two, and then there's also like the little ones that come in there and kind of mooch off the lines.
Yeah.
There's not that in the States. In most places, it's just Verizon. There's no third party companies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's
brutal.
brutal.
Yeah. See, like, if it worked as it described, and they fixed their price model, and the data wasn't 20 gigs an hour, because you're not going to use that on your phone.
So basically what
you're
you're
not going
saying
to use
is-
that anywhere but your home internet currently, if you have unlimited, and if they don't
here's-
throttle your
World
speed.
is World of Warcraft on it?
No, it released with originally 12 games. People gave it shit, so they added 10 more, and not a single game is new. Of the 12 original games,
What's the
Tomb
newest?
Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider were 3 of the 12.
Okay, I like those games,
But
but
one of them's 2013.
yeah.
Yeah. Destiny 2, which came free with Google Stadia. And apparently if you have the subscription service, they give you every so often a free game, but there's no schedule for it. So they'll just kind of release like, oh, hey.
hope and see.
Yeah, and it could be an old game, like who knows, right? It does have Red
Super
Dead
Mario
Redemption
3.
2. But apparently when you try and play Red Dead Redemption 2, it just like it can't keep up with the game.
No, it can't.
So it just like crashes or it
So
looks
4K
like
6,
so crap.
4K 60 frames is just...
It's not happening. No. Mortal Kombat 11's on there. Some puzzle game, which is the only Stadia exclusive, but it's an indie game.
Original?
It's an original, but it's like an indie game. I think it's called Dust or Gist,
I
or
couldn't
I don't
tell you.
fucking know.
It's called Jizz.
Gist.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't
Yeah, that
actually
really
remember
got
the
your
name.
attention there, but
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck?
Well, in Soviet times, we have a saying I'm going to tell you. It is very real, very harsh. It is, at the first you do not succeed, like Google Stadia. Don't ever try again.
because I mean, basically,
I
like,
thought it was, we will execute you.
No.
Oh.
here's the simplest way to
wrong.
put it. This is
Not-
what Stadia
not the
needs to
case.
do to get better.
Yeah.
Take away buying games
Yep.
and not being a broken piece of shit that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So other than that,
Even if they made it a little more expensive. How much is PS Now? Is it 10 or 20?
I wanna say
PlayStation
it's
now.
either 15 or 20.
Yeah, I think it's 15. But
Because they cut it in half. They cut the price in half recently.
Yeah, it used to be a lot more expensive than what it was
Yeah.
worth.
And Game Pass is between 10 or 20.
Yeah,
Also,
it's
I'm
anywhere
assuming they're all the
between
same.
10 and 20 for sure.
Just make it that price and make these games, which
Also
are
put
clearly
games on it.
Yeah, and put games on it, and make it that, and they'll make money like
I mean,
crazy.
the smarter thing to do would have been let's pull it back 6 months.
Yes, or release it when they did as a beta, and like, hey, if you want to be a part of the beta, you have to buy this controller. Instead of calling it the Founders Edition, call it the fucking Beta Edition or some shit. Because it was $150 to join, and you got a Google Chromecast and the controller. And that was it. That was what came in the box. And apparently
Yeah, you can
some
do a
people
lot
are
with 150
still
bucks.
waiting on their box. It came out on like Wednesday.
that's my gaming budget for Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of Nemesis,
Yes.
So I think it's so from what what you explained that in Resident Evil 2, Mr. X pops up like randomly. It's not like fixed areas that he pops in.
we're talking about the Resident Evil 3 remake now, by the way, guys, in case
Yes.
we made a
Yeah.
real
In case we just
transition there.
skipped right ahead of describing it
This
to
is
anyone
not
listening.
your Nemesis. This is a video game.
Yes, Resident
I
Evil
thought we
3.
were going to talk
Nemesis.
about Nemesis, like Hillary Clinton.
Is she your nemesis?
She like to stick her nose in places it's not wanted. But go ahead and talk about the Resident Evil. Go.
Okay, I appreciate it. So I think it's gonna end.
Is that what we call Trump Resident Evil?
Oh, he's the resident.
No, that's the White House.
Ah.
What? White House Evil? What? I don't know the joke. What's the joke?
White House is a resident
Yes.
of evil.
The White House.
Yes.
Never mind. The joke is very bad. Go on. Talk about the Resident Evil video game. Go.
It felt deaf on Russian ears.
Felt deaf on intelligent ears.
We have to have Putin back more.
I
often.
just made
No,
fun.
we don't.
Throwing
Yes,
it
we
out.
do. I just make fun of you. Go. Talk. Resident Evil. Go.
Zombies, go.
So I think it'll. Sorry, 1 second.
He needs to compose himself.
You're supposed to be a professional, you son of a bitch.
So
Let's go.
Resident Evil 3 is
Resident Evil
possibly
3.
being released next year.
Yes.
And I think what'll happen with Nemesis, it'll be like how they did with Resident Evil 2, is that he's gonna pop up randomly.
You will hear the ground motherfucking shake.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's different evolutions of Nemesis. Like sometimes he's about 6 feet, then he'll like grow, and then he'll have
As I mean, you will hear the ground motherfucking shake outside.
Eventually.
And you'll be like, oh no.
Yep.
But that's a pretty cool thing because it'd be like, am I packed and loaded? Because sometimes
For Nemesis, you never
not.
are.
sometimes you're not, especially in the if they're keeping it relatively similar to the original game. The last battle, you're not that loaded for it unless you use cheats, which never
Well,
done.
it's almost like a survival horror game is meant to not have you being a badass because it would take away the scary part of it.
Yeah.
But also, one thing, Jill Valentine was never hotter than she was in Resident Evil 3.
Well, in a
I did.
remastered version.
Yes, exactly. So those that was like Resident Evil at its pinnacle. Like they remade the original game for the GameCube, which I've never played in its entirety, but now it seems like I actually downloaded on the PlayStation 3, on PlayStation 4, I mean, and it's just the gameplay and the graphics on it are quite painfully dated.
Well, because that's
Yeah.
what the game was. It wasn't really a full remaster. It was more of a
Yeah.
It was just
Sorry, not a remake. It was a remaster.
No,
yeah,
actually,
they
what-
just fixed the resolution and
No,
stuff.
they
right?
actually no.
It still retained very much of the same stuff though.
It did, but they
Like
it
2
wasn't
is a literal remake. Like
Remake,
it's a complete redoing.
Yeah.
Number 1 was a remake because they had to remodel everything in it.
Sure,
but
I mean,
they,
if that's what you want to call it, but in retrospect, it still plays very similarly.
they
so
did
it's
add
not-
additional content to the game itself as well.
They
Yeah.
need to make a
You can
Jill
remaster and add
Valentine
content.
much
Yeah,
more
yeah.
beautiful.
You can add a dungeon.
Like
you
much
can
more
add-
Crash
beautiful.
Bandicoot, that was a full-out remaster because the coding and everything and the gameplay was
Yeah,
the
everything's
exact
still the
same.
same.
That's a remake?
No, Crash isn't a remake.
Remaster.
There we
Yeah.
go,
This Jill
can't
Valentine, I look at photo of her. She's not nearly as beautiful as Russian sleeper spy found in America, Anna Chapman. Anna Chapman, beautiful. Jill
I have
Valentine.
no idea what the fuck he's
Oh,
talking
no,
about. so-
she's hot.
Oh yeah, see, he agree with me. That's the very first smart thing he say.
I
and the
appreciate
only
it.
one.
That
Suck
is
it.
true. That is radical. Very good observation.
Has anybody here played the Resident Evil 2 remake?
No.
I'm
You will
getting
never
it
see
next
me play
week.
it. You'll
You
never
don't
see me
you don't
play
like
Resident
horror
Evil.
games though.
No,
Or
I
never
horror.
used
You
to,
don't like the
but-
horror genre in general.
Not particularly, no.
I never used to, but I definitely am going to get the Resident Evil 2 remake possibly by the end of the year. I'm just waiting for obviously a decent.
It's like when they came up with the Resident Evil 7 VR version. It said,
Oh no,
nope.
I'm not doing that. VR, I'm not ready for that.
I just
Fuck that shit.
I'm not a big fan of VR in general.
Yeah, me neither.
I
Well,
just
it's still early.
I also don't have $1,000 to just throw at something.
Well, I mean,
or
they-
I guess 500.
There is the
but-
PSVR deal that's $250.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Which
I also
is
don't have a
not,
PS4.
honestly not
It's
terrible, but
Russian
again,
accent.
No.
it's still early
That's
hardware.
her with a
So-
little bit of makeup and some lingerie.
Just showing the
I've got
picture of this
I was
Russian
showing
spy.
the picture to our friend. Hold on, new comrade.
can you
take
show
a
us?
look? Take a look.
Should
Who
I
is
mute
that?
him again?
What?
I'm not.
Is that the
joking.
spy?
This is the Russian spy.
How did she get on the front of Maxim? How does a
Because-
spy?
Because it's
end up-
photoshopped.
They found her. No. She actually got in the Russian Maxima because they find the sleeper spy, and we do a trade. I give them somebody. They give me a couple
Wait.
of people.
Russia has its own version of Maxim.
Yes, yes, we do.
That
So,
would be my
dude-
favorite version.
Yeah.
So
of
does
Maxim.
India.
Really?
Yes.
That would not be Chris's
that's not that
favorite
surprising.
version.
I am
because
surprised
he
that
likes
We're the
Maxim
land of
went.
Kama Sutra.
I'm surprised
Take
that
a
Maxim
look.
went worldwide.
There-
If
I
you
did
saw what Japan does
She's-
with their pop stars,
very
it's like,
beautiful.
yeah, they don't hold
Look
back.
at that. She's like James Bond girl.
I would be.
Yeah, she is.
I feel like
She's-
Maxim
she's Black
Thailand would
Widow.
be
She's
confused.
She's
with
what
her.
literally
you
real life
call
Black Widow.
in
Yeah,
America
yeah,
smoke
you
a
are
show.
actually.
Smoke a show.
that-
Yeah.
She is
Yeah, she
Black
is a show
Widow.
of smoke. She is a show
Check
of smoke.
out her. She's very beautiful.
She has beautiful personalities.
and very
Yes.
very sophisticated spy skills. That's why she was in America and nobody
I
knew
feel like
for
her
a long
spy
time.
skills were being an attractive woman getting in places that she could use her
And she
sexuality.
got in them.
Yeah, she did.
She's no Ada Wong.
Yeah.
Well, you're more into the Asians than the
It
Russians.
has nothing to do with that. I was just going to a spy because we're getting back on topic.
Yes, Ada Wong is a smoke show as well, and
Yeah, I want to play the Resident Evil 2
So-
remake, and then I'm very excited that this Resident Evil 3 remake could be coming out next
So-
year. It's coming out regardless.
I think they should.
It's speculation,
After-
but it's coming.
Resident Evil 2 became the best-selling horror game ever.
Yeah, it's
so-
possibly
Did it?
Game of
Yeah.
the Year. Like the Game of the Year awards are
Yeah,
happening,
very
and
potentially,
it's
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
nominations. And I was looking at them, and there are a couple good ones, obviously, in there. But I feel like Resident Evil 2 will be Game of the Year this year.
I've been a fan of Resident Evil since I was 16 years old. Maybe
I tried so many times. To
Like
play.
Yeah,
your
16.
I get 2
friend
hours
who
in
is
and then I'd
not
be too
here right now because he's in Washington, he would say it is totally phenomenal.
This is
I thought he would have said Madden.
Maybe he say Madden, but you see, we're not in
So-
cahoots, so I don't know what
so
he would
with Adam Trump being into Madden,
say. Yes.
would you be more into NHL
Yeah, what
No.
game? What
or,
video game do you
KHL.
play?
Excuse me.
KHL?
It is KHL, Continental Hockey League.
So yeah, what video game would Putin play?
I-
KHL
Command and
2020.
Conquer.
I am too busy
told you.
playing the game called World Domination. I joke. I'm really. That is just a joke. I do not want to dominate the world, just former Soviet republics. But I like to play Risk with. It's a very good game. A lot of fun. I win every time. Dmitry Medvedev, not very good at Risk.
Do you play with people who are afraid of you?
Is this a board game or real life for you?
Why not both?
That's true.
I am
He
not
actually
going to.
his dice are grenades. So it's like,
Please, he has missiles.
But the
no,
Risk,
you can
it's
play
a
with a
good
missile
game.
and a game
It's a good
board.
game. Very good
Grenades
game.
are
It's
actually
a big game board.
The game board's
Have you seen
actually
what
just
what
planet
Risk's
Earth.
game board is?
Yeah, it's a big game board, but you can't play with a missile. A missile is at least 4 feet long. A grenade is about 10 centimeters.
I don't think you're understanding this conversation.
I don't think he knows either.
No.
The
Magic.
only good thing he say is Anna Chapman beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, well, at
I
least he
agree.
gets one.
That's true. You
That's
get
not on the
one.
bingo card because that's a rare occurrence.
Is
That's
that
very good.
is Chapman her real name?
No, she got married to British man. They come to America. They divorce.
Oh, okay.
I'm a divorce too. Ludmila and I, we part ways.
Was it mutual?
It was.
That's good.
Yes,
It's
very
just
good.
split.
But Resident Evil, that's a game you play. I play Risk. But good. I like that you play video game. You have the
I'm
thing
just-
you like.
I'm now imagining like we need to have Adam Putin sit down and play Command and Conquer, where Tim Curry is a Russian
Yes.
general.
Team Curry, that is not. I like General Orlov from GoldenEye.
Yes.
That is very good. General
Yes.
Orlov,
Yeah.
he's good.
What about the
You know what? You,
the one hacker? He is invincible.
No, Boris was not
Boris?
invincible.
No, Boris, he was stupid, drunk Russian. I don't like him. He's stupid, man.
What about Boris the animal from Men in Black 3?
Men in Black, it's a stupid American movie. No good character development.
It
But a
actually-
good
it
Russian
actually
TV
is.
show, The Method. It's a very good show.
So, can we talk about how weird it is that it's 2019 and there's actually a Half-Life game coming?
Yes.
That actually makes sense to be first person.
it's not even that.
VR.
It's not even that. It's the fact that Valve is making a Half-Life game.
Yeah, last one's from like 2006. Maybe even earlier. That might have been the console release, 2006. May have been, I don't know, I think it's 2003
And
for Half-Life 2.
sorry to cut everyone off. In honor
No,
of
you're
our
not.
guest today, I have absolute vodka.
That
If you
is-
showed a Russian
oh my
Absolute vodka,
Yes.
they would smash it over your head.
Half-Life 2 was
That
released
is-
in
is-
2004.
2004.
Did you know video
2004.
game come from Russia? Tetris.
Yes.
That's a
I've
very
watched
good
the
game.
documentary on
And
that.
then they Fortnited the hell out of it.
Yes.
What?
And it's the best version.
Tetris 99?
Tetris
Oh,
99
yes.
is I have never won, but I keep going back, and I will
Can
always
you?
go back.
Is there like a prize or something if you like beat everybody that you're playing?
Did
They
you
have tournaments
know
where you can
that
win
video
stars,
game
and if you
in
get enough,
Russia
you get $10 off the eShop.
is one of world's biggest markets for video game is Russia. Did you know? You did not
I would
know.
believe it, yeah.
Yes, you believe
And the
it.
prices are much cheaper.
They are.
Kind of doubt that, because China.
Did you know that Russia
China just has a lot of laws.
Russia has officially recognized competitive video gaming you call e-sports as a sport in Russia. I'm very, very progressive when it comes to video game sports.
I knew that. Every time I think of Adam
So
Putin, I think
I actually
progressive.
speaking of Russia, I watched this movie the other night called Atomic Blonde. And have you seen that, Mr. Putin?
I have not seen the movie.
Oh, I think you would enjoy it because it takes place in the Cold War where I'm sure you know a few people involved in that, or you don't.
I cannot comment.
Okay.
I used to work for KGB. Yeah, I have a good experience, but I cannot talk about my work experience, especially not in East Germany.
So what do you do in a job interview?
I cannot discuss that. I don't need to do a job interview. I'm president of the
He
country.
interviews himself.
It's like, so me.
So I need to find next president. Me.
So
That's probably how it goes.
is that how the election happened?
No, people vote.
Somebody else puts out their hand, be like, I can do it, and then you don't see him after a week.
We have free election. I win.
But yeah, Half-Life.
So
It's just bizarre, and it's going to be weird, too, because the voice of Alex Vance isn't going to be the same.
No.
It's
yeah.
not going to be
Really?
the same voice actress, so
It's been
unfortunately...
15 years since the last game, so maybe her voice is different.
well, is it going to be
Is she even
a
alive? I have
carry
no
on
idea.
from the original story, or is it going to be like a reboot?
It takes place
almost?
between Half-Life 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a bridge.
okay.
So the
they-
girl wasn't in Half-Life 1. She only showed up in Half-Life
Wait,
2.
Half-Life is not how much time somebody has after they take polonium.
No. No.
That's a video game.
Okay, what is polonium?
Well, I had nothing to do with it, but Alexander Litvinenko, former KGB agent, he drink some tea, he get very sick. The MI6 accuse Russia of poisoning him. It's not true.
Was polonium the poison? Or
They
potential
say
poison?
polonium, but sometimes they lie. Trust the
It's just a different poison.
yeah,
It's
different. I no believe. They say we do. I said no. I no believe.
No, I know, believe.
So getting away from death. So speaking of poison, Google Stadia is back now.
It is poisoning the minds of the youth for shitty video game.
No, video games are just poisoning. We all know this.
They can be.
Trump told us.
Only
Yeah.
thing I know is just Nintendogs. Just
It's just for Chris. It's just specifically
no,
him.
it wasn't just Chris, man. You didn't. I played Nintendogs one time, and I just looked at people like, "You're not dogs, and I want to hurt all of you."
Oh no, I just wanted to hurt the game, and then everything.
Okay, you are next level fuck then.
The game was bad.
I mean, I've seen the
Hurts.
trailer for Half-Life Alyx.
Yep.
It's curious. I mean, obviously, as somebody who
That
doesn't
is
have
very
VR,
good.
it's not something I'm looking
That's
into.
a
But the
good
idea
joke.
that it's there, all it does is at least bring the potential that there might be more. Not even more Half-Life, but the fact that Valve is at least making something that isn't just Steam.
Yeah.
It's the idea that Valve might actually be trying to make games again, because that means the stuff like Left 4 Dead
So
can come back,
as-
Portal can come
do you know
back.
who made this?
As Adam Trump would say, they're trying to make video games great again.
Yes.
I
Video
like
games are still great.
I
but
like
they're
the
just
joke you
adding to
made.
the fun.
Half-Life Alex Litvinenko, the guy who died in London from poisoning.
No, it's definitely not.
That was the joke he
It's-
made.
it's Alex with a Y.
It's ALYX.
Why?
You and
Because
your,
it's some. If they're being edgy.
Chris,
I don't-
that is
Chris, I
fine. I
literally was
thought you
doing
make
a
a
bad
joke.
joke.
I like the joke. Move on.
Do you know which developers Valve bought that helped make this game?
No.
I don't remember the name of the development company, but the Firewatch game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Valve bought that developer. I guess they were struggling a bit or something. They bought that, and then those developers from that team, because it's like kind of indie,
That's-
they helped them make this Half-Life Alyx.
What was the name of it? Oh, Composanto.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, I thought you said comp placenta for a sec. I was like, wait.
Okay,
the
what is with
fuck?
you and mishearing the pronounces? Like you've now
How do we
thought
put
somebody
that
said
on the bingo
jizz.
card?
You thought somebody said placenta. Okay.
Yeah, Vishal thinks something is either gross or sexual.
What have you been
That's gotta go in
drinking?
the
What have you been
bingo card.
drinking?
He's
I
been
literally just showed you 5
He-
minutes ago. Absolute.
very, very shitty vodka.
Well, apparently it's made you absolutely idiot.
He has
Absolute
not said
Wrong.
anything smart since the Anna Chapman comment. Nothing. It's the vodka. It's the absolute. Oh, it's very bad.
So I'm excited for that. Otherwise, there is the interesting thing that Kojima said where he actually is curious about making movies as well.
I think he should.
Which makes more sense because I think his games are so convoluted that they're better suited to be movies than...
Because if
Well-
you make a Metal Gear Solid movie, he better be fucking the one.
The problem
Chris,
is
here-
it wouldn't be that because Konami would never let
Oh
him do
yeah, he can't
The
do
only
that.
problem is
So
a
he
me-
should make Solid Metal. Solid, just featuring Snake,
solid metal pistons.
gaseous Snake.
it. No, he's Cobra now.
Why
Cobra.
don't you make
He's Rock
movie
Cobra.
Solid
Rock
Metal
Cobra.
AK-47?
Actually,
He's
Metal,
Stone Python.
Stone Pie.
actually, Metal Gear Solid has a lot of Russian in it.
But are they winning or is it the American propaganda?
So I think a Metal Gear
close to
Solid
the
movie,
That is
it
not
would,
nice.
as much as I'd love to have one, I think it would be just way too long because there's like what 20 hours of cutscenes.
It would have to
in
be-
each
You can
fucking
do
Metal Gear
a
movie.
2-hour Metal Gear movie. It just
Yeah.
doesn't have to necessarily be anything beyond like one mission.
Yeah, you don't have to have one 1 hour cutscene where he just goes, war, damn, Metal Gear, Meryl, war, love can be born on the
Snake!
battlefield.
Dun, dun,
That's
dun,
it.
dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
Insert disc 2.
And credits roll. Wait, how do they do
Holy
Psycho
shit, we
Mantis
can
in
make
the
this movie be 10 minutes long.
Wait, Psycho Mantis in the movie, like everybody has to leave the theater. It's like you can only defeat him if you leave the
You
theater.
see the movie,
and it's a trick thing. From
and all of a sudden
Kojima.
everybody's cell phone in the place like comes up and says something from Psycho
Oh, that
Mantis
was
and
like
it
a great-
interacts.
That would be ridiculous.
If they could do that, I'd be down.
Well, we lost Michelle again, so there's the bingo card.
Yeah.
Still, the bingo card has been checked. We should really quickly end this podcast.
Yeah, quick. So going forward, there's only going to be us three.
I'm okay with that, honestly.
What you don't know is he has been drinking not real vodka.
Oh, polonium!
I did not.
he looked a little.
I did not put nothing in there. It was someone from FSB.
If he wasn't on the podcast, it'd be really awkward using his basement going forward. But like, we're still
He
going to
just
use
waltz
his
in.
basement.
It's okay. He may not be back, but we can just pretend like he just fall.
So I guess, like, as we go to the end here, I'm going to think of a question really quick off the top. So as we're recording, this is the 23rd of November. Black Friday is obviously next week.
Yes.
So is there anything that you are looking to ahead of time that you might think about for Black Friday?
Yep, I have a list on my phone.
Because at this point, for me personally, it's tough because I guess because I already know ahead of time that I've got all these other things to worry about. So it's a little bit more difficult because I'm thinking I don't want to get all these games and then find out last minute that, oh, well, shit, like, I've got this much time to finish these 3 games and Cyberpunk's coming or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
So
We have a marvelous guest joining us.
Brittany,
well, you're just in time for the last like 5 minutes.
you can take over for Vishal.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Wait. Sorry. Can you introduce yourself? Who is this?
It's Brittany, bitch.
She calls
So
herself
you
dog.
the question we're doing to finish off the show here is, what are you actually looking forward to on Black Friday?
Well, my 3 that I'm looking to get are Smash Brothers, for the Wii U. No, the Switch.
I've heard it's a good game.
It's amazing.
And we have located one that is on sale for a very good price. I will not tell you because I don't want to fight the competition.
It's
so many
Walmart.
copies.
Oh, would you
There's
shut the
so
fuck
many
up?
copies.
It's Walmart.
People are gonna go to Walmart on Black Friday.
It would be
People
one
are gonna go-
thing
okay,
if like
I
randomly McDonald's was selling copies of Super Smash
No,
Bros.
that's like them selling copies of burgers. There'll be
Like
lots of
McDonald's
burgers.
is selling copies of Super Smash Bros. Like a Szechuan
so-
sauce from Rick and Morty. Yeah, that's maybe a thing. Walmart's selling video games on sale on Black Friday. Whoa! Big flashing news here.
Okay, if anyone listens to the next show and Adam is not available, it's because he's gone missing.
I'm literally the one with the mixer.
Yeah.
That is
So on
easy
Black
to find.
Friday-
Speaking
buying
of
a
which, I have
laptop.
the mixer. I'm gonna mute his mic again.
No, you fucking.
What did I do?
So Smash Brothers is like my main game that I'm looking for. For those who have PlayStation Plus, the PlayStation Store has Resident Evil 2 for $25. I don't think I'm gonna find it cheaper anywhere else. So
Probably not.
I'm gonna wait till Black Friday. If I don't see it there, then I'm definitely buying because there's no reason for me. There's no lineup to wait for that.
I mean, the one thing I'm kind of waiting for is it was Outer Worlds. I was waiting to see where it was. They put it 25% off. That's not terrible. It's $55,
not
which is not bad.
Another game the other game I'm looking forward to, hoping I found it also actually pretty cheap on the PlayStation Store, is the newest Mortal Kombat. So
Yeah, I think it was like $40.
$40 for the initial game, but for the full edition, it's $60, which isn't that terrible.
I mean, if you're gonna play it a lot, yeah.
Well, it's also it's not just that. It's like the game itself right now is $80 for the game itself, and you get the full edition for $60. That's actually a pretty decent price.
Well, yeah, but if you're talking with all the characters, I mean, I'm still of the mind that says you shouldn't be charging for characters. Just put it in the game.
Here's I 110% agree with that. The only DLC I think is ever worth it is for fighting or racer games, because you get the characters and the levels. I
don't know. Witcher would like to have a word with you on that front.
No, I completely agree with you on this, that you should not just release a full fucking game and have everybody
Is
there.
he going to be around for Witcher to talk to? I don't know.
Ominous.
I feel like the KGB is going to be after me.
I think you should keep
I think
drinking
they're
your
already
vodka.
there.
Your vodka, it's
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
like, she's actually a sleeper agent.
Me?
Yep.
Don't speak.
it.
Shut up, Brittany.
Is there anything you're looking forward to on Black Friday?
I haven't seen any of the flyers yet. I didn't know they were out, but I've been waiting.
They've started to leak. They have started to leak.
flag deals.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna look
You
at right now. then.
pull it up on your phone.
Okay, well,
Go,
in the meantime,
dog.
Chris.
Do it.
So I've got a few games. Some of them are definitely not going to go. I want on the Switch. I want Fire Emblem and Pokemon.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Pokemon is like a week old, so that's not
Well,
going on sale.
I know Let's Go Eevee is at least
might.
dropped to 40.
I already have Let's
Yeah.
Go Pikachu.
So
Yeah.
like,
I want
if
the
I saw
new.
that and I had just gotten a Switch, I'd be like, why not?
Yeah.
That would have been a why not.
Yeah.
I was actually even thinking of getting Call of Duty or NHL.
That is a
but
very
then I
stupid game.
realized-
We don't like in Russia.
I was
Very
even
bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say he definitely doesn't like.
I
Modern
have
Warfare
something
because
to say.
Russia's
Yeah.
the real
Is the enemy.
No.
There's some real issues right now.
I'm-
Russia's not taking very.
That
kindly to
was
this
what
game
I was
because
going
it's-
to speak about. Why
Yeah,
you steal?
like,
Don't steal my
The
thunder.
Russian forces in that game are committing several serious war crimes in that game.
It is very.
Oh
I am
yeah,
not-
you were saying that there's one level that like
Call of
like makes
Duty.
you like lose sleep over.
Call of Duty Warfare. It
Modern
portrays
Warfare.
Russian soldiers committing massacre and hate crime. It is very bad. It is massacring people. I don't
Why
like.
does it look like he's reading the statements?
Shut up.
He's got it written down so that he makes sure to say it properly.
You know, Ilya Davidov, a Russian influential video gamer.
Oh, I thought I was reading.
No, I am not reading nothing. You shut up, dog. You shut up. You bark when I tell you to. Beachy Britney. This game portray Russian soldiers very, very bad. It is horrible. I do not want to see this game come out. We ban in Russia.
Well, it's
It's
already out. So
Enough
tough
of it.
shit.
We are
Tough
going
shit,
to
buddy.
pull it from the shelf in. I'm not
I
going
wouldn't
to.
actually be surprised if it's not on shelves,
It's
but it's
horrible. Very
hacking.
horrible.
Yeah, just VPN and boom, you've got it.
It's
Anyway,
bullshit.
Yeah, so I want Fire Emblem and Pokemon. They're not going to go
Yeah,
on
that's
sale,
not gonna happen.
but I'm probably
You know
going
what
to
a
buy
Black Friday
one.
sale would be for those two? $5 off.
Yeah,
That's
and I
all
would
you're
go
gonna
for
get.
it. I'd jump on that like a.
Why
like
don't
a-
they do the Chinese? Why Russia?
Where are we going with this?
Why don't they do Call of Duty Modern Warfare and do terrorists?
Does anybody ever remember?
Yeah.
I can't. What's the fucking name of that game? Do you remember the one that came out?
Well,
like PS3, Xbox 360 era that was about Homeworld, where it was North Korea.
That's the spider.
Oh.
Don't
I never
touch
played
That
that.
one was horrifying. So it's I'm not.
I wanna hear
it's
this,
a
actually.
spoiler from like a 6-7-year-old game.
That's fine.
Do it.
There's
It's
a
not-
point where
Tell
'cause
us.
North Korea invades, takes over shit somehow, and
With the
actually I think what happens is they merge with like South Korea, so they have a much bigger force. And I think that's what actually happens in the story. There's a point where you're trying to get a feel of like where you are now, and you go to this point where there is a baseball field, and the foul lines have been trenched, and they're pouring hundreds and hundreds of bodies into these trenches in the foul lines, like cranes just.
Well, I'm playing this.
And even then,
It's
like,
so horrible. I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to play it.
well, the game is pretty bad.
Yeah.
The game itself is really bad. Don't play the sequel because it's a
Unplayable
pile of
bad
shit.
or
Yeah,
story
unplayable.
bad?
Oh, so it's a bad game in
okay.
general.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, I
it's
don't
a-
want that.
speaking of ratings from last time, it is a 2 out of 10 game.
What
based
is
on
the
how it
name
plays.
of this game?
Homeworld, I believe.
World?
Oh, Homefront.
Oh,
thank you.
Homefront.
So
Wait, Homefront?
I was actually
No, I don't know Homefront.
And I actually didn't mind
It
Homefront.
kicks off by the unification of South and North Korea.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I think I do own that on Steam.
And it is,
Yeah,
like,
one,
honestly, the first game, it was a cool concept, and the scenes that they pull off in it is actually interesting. The problem is it just ends so out of nowhere.
It could have been a very good game.
It definitely could have been very good.
But Call
There's
of Duty Modern
actually-
Warfare,
Put that
very
with like
bad
the
game.
Call of Duty guys that can make the really good gameplay, have the
Oh, so
production
that could
value
actually-
to it, that could have been unreal, and that could have definitely rivaled them.
Yeah,
Actually, there was one of the Black Ops. I forget which one. I think it was either 1 or 2, where it actually took place in Vietnam.
Oh, that was 2.
Oh, okay.
And
Because there
World
was
at War.
One was oh wait, hang on.
I don't
No,
know.
actually, I think it's the other. No, one might have been a little bit of Vietnam. It's tough. It's some of it's so sketchy by the end of it.
Oddly enough, the game I've been playing recently, I just finished playing Call of Duty World War II.
Which is actually pretty good.
I played through the campaign. That was a pretty
Well,
damn
and
good
this,
game.
And this is why I was so disappointed when Black Ops 4 came out with no campaign, because
Yeah.
I know that their philosophy is, well, nobody fucking plays it. Like, I'm sure...
I just fucking played the
Well,
campaign.
I'm sure, like, if I was going to guess a percentage of how many people actually play the campaign in Call of Duty these
Oh,
days...
it's less than 10%.
If it's more than 15%, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
'Cause- and the reason I play it is because, well, one, the stories are actually genuinely
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Like, the first 3 Modern Warfares, that was a trilogy, those stories were so good.
Yeah.
The Black Ops games are pretty good. Like, the first game, it was the first ever Call of Duty game to have, like, branching stories. Because there's a point where
Black
you can,
Ops? Or...
Yeah, the original Black Ops had, like, branching
Oh,
stories.
yeah, with
so there were
Victor-
certain things you could do.
With the
that
Russian
could change
hero
the story.
Victor Reznov.
Well,
Russian hero.
Yes and no.
It is
But,
true. It is true.
Side note, Reznov was actually not... Black Ops was not his first game. Reznov was in World at War.
Well, I
But
believe
Yes.
Oh.
I believe Black Ops in general was a spiritual sequel to World of War. Am I
In a
correct?
way, it was. Yes, it did branch off a little bit. But, like, all those games story-wise, like, every single one of them that I have played, other than Ghosts, every other story has been really good.
Yeah.
And having
Ghosts-
those really good moments, like, I still can remember No Russian from Modern Warfare 2, the nuke going off in Modern Warfare.
He
Yeah.
gave us a dirty look when he said
point
no
where-
Russian.
The point where, and I'm sorry if I'm spoiling shit, but I don't really care when their game's this old.
Yeah.
No.
Black
Shit
Ops,
can-
the
or
original
shit
Black
is
Ops, there's a
spoiled
point
already.
where you are told that you're getting the villain, who has the classic, like, bag over his head, he's tied up, and you say, here's your chance, snipe him. And if you do, you find out it's your fucking father. Like, it turns that on you.
Yeah.
But, speaking of the branching paths, you can intentionally shoot him in the leg, and he'll survive in the end. But you,
No,
but you usually,
that's
you
the-
usually
the-
have to play the game a second time because
If I've shot him in the leg, it's because I suck at those games.
yeah, it's
Well, that's the thing was with Call of Duty as
they
like,
make it really easy for you to not miss that shot though.
Yeah.
it like the mechanics and the technology behind the games is fucking phenomenal.
Well, that's the thing. If anybody
But-
wants to talk shit about Call of Duty, they should never be talking shit about the quality of the game. It's the matter of it being copy pasted so much.
Yeah.
That's the
But
problem.
in terms of a shooter, I still believe to this day, every single time a new Call of Duty comes out, they're still the kings of first-person shooters.
Yeah. Yeah, World
Oh,
at War II.
yeah.
I mean,
World War II.
World War II. There we go. That was a really good campaign.
I
and the
saw
game
it.
played phenomenally.
I have the game; it's still sealed.
I just finished it this week.
They're
so good.
fantastic.
How long is the
surprisingly
story?
good.
Oh, like 7
Like they're
hours.
usually anywhere
Oh,
between
okay.
Yeah.
4 to 8, depending
Yeah,
on how much you rush,
it's
what
quick.
level you're. if
You
you're
can
playing
go
on
back and
difficult, you can get
replay,
your
and there's
ass kicked.
mementos
See, I
in
like
each level and stuff.
I'm not a big fan of the Modern Warfare story modes. I find the violence is a little tame. Maybe I'm a complete psychopath. I like it. I like seeing bodies blown up. I like seeing limbs blown off. I enjoy that shit. Like with
Brittany's
Brittany's
like,
face just was classic right there. It was like, oh
And he
shit, I shouldn't be
wonders
sitting
why
next to this
he
guy.
does not have a wife.
Brittany, I do not have any guns in this house. Don't worry.
no, he's got swords.
Just
so-
swords. He likes to
there
get
is
real
literally-
personal with
there's-
it.
Katana over there.
He likes
That
to
thing is
Wait,
long enough that there's no
I'm
way you're
gonna
not
show
gonna at
you
least
one that you're
cut
actually gonna
somebody with
appreciate.
it. Well, in the meantime, do you still have any more left on your list there?
Dragon Quest 11.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want Dragon Quest 11
Which
real bad.
is disappointing because it's $20 on PlayStation.
I think on Steam it's going to go really, really, really
not-
cheap.
I told you I'm
Steam
not
just
insane.
doesn't release any of its previous things, and the Nintendo eShop, they released the sales for Europe, but not North America. And Europe started
That is very interesting.
today or yesterday,
Very,
but
very
America's doesn't
interesting.
start. Or sorry, North America doesn't start until like 2 days before actual Black Friday here, and they're not releasing any info.
Why did they
So-
not say? They did not say nothing, huh?
No.
Japan just
Did
likes
you
to
have
things for
anything
no
to do
reason.
with this?
I have nothing to do
With Japan,
this.
no.
Japan?
Did you
We're
end up
talking
seeing anything,
Japan.
Brittany?
Yeah. Any games?
see anything?
Anything?
TVs, laptops.
No, I don't know how to use red flag deals
Okay.
apparently.
All right. Well,
The
What's his
website is a
phone?
lot easier to use than the actual app itself.
I'm afraid to ask, Mr. Putin.
Yes.
What would you like for Black Friday?
A nuke.
I
got plenty.
have lots of nukes. Jeez. This guy knows nothing. I actually wanted to see the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but I do not want to see it now because it portrays the Russians in a very disparaging and wrong way. Very wrong. I think it makes me sick. Now, it has
So he
ruined...
would be a
It ruined Good Friday.
He's a Metro guy.
It ruined Friday for me.
Metro. You'd like the Metro games.
Well, Call of
Apocalypse in Russia, where everybody's living in the Metro system. Very cool game.
Apocalypse never going to happen to Russia. I make
It
sure.
was a worldwide one, I believe.
Yes.
But I
Russia-
think it's a Russian author too. Like it's
Yep.
it's a book series, and they.
There is also it came out on PC like a long time ago. It was supposed to be like the next big the Stalker, I think it was, Shadows of Chernobyl. or
Oh
something like that.
yeah.
Chernobyl never happened.
Yes, there's
Stop.
there's
Speaking of a show I want to watch,
Stop. That show very wrong. Very wrong.
never happened.
Never happened.
I mean, no one lives there.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, that's true. They just all moved
So,
out for some reason.
It's a model town now.
Have you ever met a person who lived there?
No, because they all died.
No, because nobody lived there. These
So,
are American lives.
I
So
feel
this is the people we are. We laugh at one of the greatest tragedies in human history.
We're great people.
I feel like there's no better way to end a podcast than on mass death. Mass death.
I mean,
I
video
know.
games cause violence.
Or sorry, mass never
In
existed.
the visual
Adam, it's
discussion
called
about
a
mass
genocide.
murder and cutting people
Chernobyl
up.
was not a
and-
genocide.
Oh my gosh!
Actually,
Why
that's true,
does
you're
he have a voice?
You clearly need to send that KGB agent now.
I think.
Yeah, if you want to
Activate-
send, if you send
activate
Anna
it.
my way, I'll
I
definitely
don't think the
discuss with her.
polonium was good grade because clearly it is not working on him.
It was Trump grade.
Oh, are you gonna get your friend Adam Trump Madden on Black Friday?
What? Adam Trump Madden?
He
The
likes-
names his last name is Trump, not
No.
Trump Madden.
To
What?
be fair, it feels like this character would almost adopt that name.
True.
Adam Madden.
We are not actually friends. We are two heads of state who have to converse for our countries. I don't do these.
So
And
you-
sometimes hold hands.
So you did not get him anyone to pee on him.
Oh.
Mr. Adam Trump and I have not colluded to give each other gifts.
Not even on Black Friday.
It is a collusion delusion.
But they do send birthday cards.
I am very, very upset still. I don't want Black Friday to come because the Modern Warfare is very bad. Very
So-
awful. Very bad. I don't
because
like- I
because
don't like.
honestly, I don't know what else to fucking say at this point. That's gonna do it for this episode of the VCR podcast.
Yes, you should stop. Otherwise, Vishal will say something else that is very stupid.
Have you? Okay, no offense. I know you haven't been here before, but I'm sure that you have heard stories from Trump. You know that no matter what I say to try to close the podcast, he does say something.
Oh, I know. That is why they tried to say you need to go, and maybe he talk less. There's
So,
no work.
in
He
honor
keep
of
talking.
last episode, I will cut his mic at this point.
Test.
I cut that one off.
what did I do?
I cut everybody's off again because this is my show. Damn it! I am the one with the mixer and what? Yes, I cut him off.
You cannot cut me off. I'm going to cut you.
How is this happening?
It happened,
So
and
this
it was phenomenal.
somebody hold him, please.
I could use a cuddle.
Like lovingly?
Whatever works at this point, whatever keeps him in place for 5 seconds. So this has been the VCR podcast.
I could use a cuddle.
You're not getting that from me, buddy.
No, anyone but you. Literally.
I won't give you a cuddle, but I will go eat chicken wings.
That sounds like a plan. I like this plan. So thanks for bearing with this show, I guess is the best word to put it.
Goodbye, America.
I don't think that's gonna come through because of the way the boundaries on the mic is. Oh shit.
Goodbye, America.
So I guess we're nuking this podcast now.
Yeah. Oh.
So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching or listening, depending on where you're getting this from. And I guess we might see you next episode. I'm not sure. Is the sleeper agent standing behind me right? Wait, what's this? Ah!